wasn't easy. Like, it wasn't soft, it wasn't gentle, it was so rough. It felt like someone was stabbing me. Like, it felt like someone was stabbing me down there, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. What's up, family? Welcome back to our channel. If you are new, welcome to our channel. It is me, solo. I'm going solo. I don't know, I just felt like I needed to have a one-on-one with ladies and men also, because it happened to men. It's gonna be how my son was conceived and how I found out I was pregnant. So this is, yes, it's how my son was conceived. So disclaimer, ladies, do not ever, especially young ladies. I was 14 when this happened to me, so do not ever get comfortable with a grown man who, even if they're family, don't ever stay in the room with them alone. Don't ever sit too close. Don't sit on their lap. And it's crazy that we have to sit there and watch the way we interact with someone, not like a man, even if they're blood. But molestation happens in families, and it happens with people in the church. It happens, y'all. I am living proof that it happens. So that's my disclaimer, ladies. Just protect yourself. Stay away from grown men. Do not call them your brother. Do not call them your friend. I don't care if it seems mean. I would rather be mean and protected than nice and molested, okay? That's just, I wish I was mean back then, but I'm so nice. Not, I mean, I'm nice now, but I've gotten tougher. So yes, let's get into the video. Oh, but before we get into the video, let's thank God for blessing us with another day to achieve our goals and our dreams and whatever he has for us. Keep him first and have faith. Faith without work is dead. So make sure you're putting in the work, but also having faith and talking to him. He is your best friend, guys. And I understand if you don't believe in him. I still love you. But for my believers, I love y'all. Okay, guys. So how my son was conceived is, you know, what I just told you. It was a molestation situation. Okay, let me backtrack. I was living with my mom. I was 14, living with my mom. We had got, I think, evicted. We got, either she couldn't pay the last bill, we got evicted out of the apartments that she was in. Church people, they take you in. So they took us in, and we was living with them. And it was a big house, but you had one couple in one room, another couple in another room, the couple's daughter in that room, and then another couple in another room. So that only leaves a living room and the guest room downstairs. Me and my mom, we took the guest room. We were sharing a bed, sharing a closet. We were sharing everything. Yeah. And then my siblings upstairs, it was my 3 brothers upstairs. They was on the couch, and they didn't have a closet, I think, or they put their stuff in the storage. Either way, it was just so cramped up where no one was comfortable. So I'm sorry, y'all. I might share like a tear too, because it's a touchy subject, but it's not about me. It's bigger than me. I need for y'all to listen, get into a quiet place, a quiet space or take someone with you. Like, if you're older sister, go get your little sister, let her watch this video, and vice versa, because it needs to be heard. So yeah, so it was cool. You know, it was cool at first. We was vibing, and everyone was just hanging out, and I started to feel like it was a real family. You know, like, we was chilling, we was cooking together, it was everything. But the dude, I realized that he was getting a little too close. Like, he kept hugging me a little tight, and I was calling him my brother, so I didn't think nothing of it. But now that I think about it, he was doing too much. He was getting a little close. He was creep vibes. But yeah, and So I just took it as my brother, because I was doing the same thing with my brother. I was hugging him. Like, I love my family, so I really considered him as family. So it was this one day where I think we was out of school this day, or we had just got out of school. I don't know, but it was me and Twin. I call my other brother Twin because they say we act alike. I don't know, but it was me and Twin, and we was sitting in the living room part of the house. I was watching TV, and me and Twin, we were just talking or whatever, and dude came downstairs. And he came downstairs, and I'll never forget the look on his face. It was so creepy. Like, I even was like, bro, this nigga is weird. Like, that's what I was thinking. And he just kept staring at me, y'all. And I'm 14. Like, I was going through my awkward adolescent stage. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, I had a boyfriend, but I'm 14. So yeah, he kept looking at me. And so I tried to look away and stuff, but he just kept staring at me. And then finally, I was like, what? Because I cannot, not that I can't stand it, but if you're gonna stare, please say something. Like, I am the nicest person. I will talk back to you. But yeah, so he was like, yo, I just had the craziest dream. And me and Twin was like, what happened? He was like, I had a dream that me and your sister was having sex. Y'all, this dude is like in his older 20s, probably like 25, 24. I'm 14. Why are you having a dream about us having sex? That should have been a red flag for me to go tell my mom. But I was just like, what? I was just so confused. Like, you had a dream that we was having sex? Huh? So yeah, and then he said it, he was like, yeah, it was crazy. I had a dream we was having sex. And I was like, oh nah. So I ended up getting up and walking away. And I heard my brother was going back and forth with him, because you don't say that about my little sister. You don't say that. Like, that's what he was like, you don't say that about my little sister. And then he was like, no, I'm not saying I want to. And like, I heard it, like, because I don't know, I didn't want to go outside. So I just sat on the steps and was trying to process what the heck was going on. And so I kept hearing it. And he was like, I'm not saying I want to. I'm just telling you my dream. And my brother was like, you didn't even have to tell us that. Why are you having, like, are you looking at my sister? Why are you having a dream about y'all having sex? And then he was like, no, you know what? Let's just forget it. And so my brother was about to keep going. And I was like, bro, it's okay. Because I didn't want them to fight or nothing. Like, I don't like when people fight. I don't. Let's just all get along. But yeah, so that happened. And let me tell y'all, this dude was married. He had a beautiful wife, a beautiful stepdaughter. Oh my gosh, so blessed, so lucky. And yeah, so I think, like, I know, like a week or two after that, he kept trying to add me on Facebook, and not add me, but connect with me on Messenger, because I had already added him. Like, I added everybody in the house because I considered them family. And he kept trying to text me, and I never texted him back. And one time he videoed, I never videoed back. But like, we're living in the same house. We don't we don't need to be texting on Messenger. I'm 14, you're 20 something. We have nothing to talk about that we can't talk about in person. And at this point, I didn't want to be alone with him. I didn't want to talk to him. Like, one-on-one, any of that. But then I also, like, I didn't want to bring it to my mom because we had nowhere to go, y'all. Like, my mom had just got her job. She was working as what is it called? In a prison, a security guard. She was working as a guard in a prison. So I didn't want, like, to be put out or something like that. So I just kept it to myself. And I was praying. I was like, God, I don't know. Like, I just remember me saying, I don't know what's going on. But I just wanted to stop. And it died down. But one day, he usually, okay, so he worked, I don't even remember, because I literally asked God to wipe these memories off, but I had to think about it again. But he he usually got home pretty early from work, and me and my brother, we got home first. Me and my little brother got home first, and because we were still in middle school, I was still in middle school, 14. And my older brother's high school, they got home after us, probably like an hour or two after us. So yeah, so it was this day where it was like the whole week, because this happened on a Friday. The whole week, he just was coming home like pretty early, and then he would just sit there, and like I would come straight in the house. He would open the door. He would just stare at me and be like, "What's up?" And I'd be like, "Hey," and then I'd go in the room and lock the door, like both doors. I didn't want nothing to do with him. So yeah, so I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to like get myself together because I don't want to cry. But yeah, I didn't want nothing to do with him, and I feel like he knew that. So like he was leaving me alone, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. But so yeah, I'm young. I'm 14. I'm naive. I'm telling you this because of what I'm about to tell you. So it was Friday. You know, all week he was coming home extra early, just being weird. Friday, my little brother came in the house with me, and I used to like tell my brother, I felt so bad, but I used to tell my brother like, no, you can't go outside and play with them, because I didn't want to be in the house alone. Like, this dude would really come home extra early and stay there. Like, he wouldn't go nowhere. He would just stay there. I was like, I don't want to be in, like, I wouldn't tell him that, but I'd be like, no, you can't go play. And then he was mad. So like, so that Friday he was like, please sis, I did good in school. And then he showed me, y'all, report cards came out. He showed me his report card. My brother had A's, B's, and 1C. How can I tell him no? So I was just like, okay. And he was like, I can go. I was like, yeah, but only for 30 minutes. He ended up being outside for a pretty long time because I lost track of time. I was in the room I think I was doing my homework or something. And then dude knocked on my door and was like, your mom's calling. Your mom called. And I was like, okay. And I was like, bring me the phone. He was like, nah, it's upstairs. The one down here is dead. So I was like, all right. I had a phone, but you know, my mom had just got her job, so her phone, she had to use Wi-Fi. She was using this calling app, and when you're inside of the actual prison, it blocks out your phone, and you have to go outside to, you know, get Wi-Fi or whatever connection you use. So she didn't really call, but I believed it because, you know, that was what was going on. And we was like a family. So my mom told everybody like, hey, if you need to contact me, just call, leave a voicemail, and I'll call you back when I get service. So that's how that went. So yeah, I had ended up going up the steps to get the phone, and it was in his room. Honestly, I was so gullible, so naive. I'm 14, y'all. Like, I just didn't expect that it was gonna happen to me, but it can happen, ladies. But yeah, so I went into his room, and the phone was on his bed, and I picked it up and I put it to me. I was like, hello, and I didn't hear nothing. And y'all, he had like, okay, so it was his room, then the bathroom was connected to his room, but there was a door that leads outside of the bathroom back to the way to lead back down the steps and stuff all around the house. So the room to his door, you know, it was open, but he had came in through his bathroom door. And so I'm standing like facing his bed. His bed is right beside the window, like this. And then I'm standing in front facing his bed with my back turned towards the bathroom. And I'm still saying hello, like I'm trying to call my mom back. She's not answering. So I'm about to turn around and leave. I turn around. He's standing there with, I will never forget. I will never forget the look on dude's face. Like, I will never, as much as I try to, I will never forget it. Like, that look and what happened next changed my life. My childhood was gone. My innocence was gone. My trust was definitely broken and gone. I became a scared little girl who just wanted it to stop, and who just wanted her dad. Y'all, this goes back to the fathers. If you're watching this goes back to you. You have to be there for your little girl, okay? If God blesses you with the little girl, be there for her, honestly. Because my dad, like, I basically got put out, and my dad cut ties, and he did not care. And I'm not bashing my dad, I love him, but he did not care that we was living with strangers. You know, he literally brought my brother clothes to the house, didn't offer any money, didn't offer anything. His wife came with him, my little sister came with him. He brought clothes to the house, was talking and laughing it up with everybody like everything was cool. No, your kids are homeless. Like, yeah, we're living with people, but these are strangers. We don't know them. And that's why what happened to me happened, because my dad wasn't there. Like, I don't care what nobody says. If my dad would have, I'm sorry, y'all. If my dad would have stepped in, and even if he brought us a hotel room away from them, if he would have stepped in and got us out of that situation, I would not have been molested. I would not, because I wouldn't have been anywhere near him, like in a close vicinity of him at all. It's like a little hard for me to talk about it, but I definitely want to tell y'all, because ladies, it's real. Molestation is real. It can happen. It happened to me. So yeah, I remember I felt cold. Like, this is before anything happened. Like, that look literally, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the blood drains from your face. That's how I felt. Like, that look was scaring the crap out of me, to where I froze. And I probably should have ran, but I just froze. Like, you never know how you're gonna react in that situation, and I pray that you're never in that situation, because it's not good. It's not a good feeling. But yeah, I was just standing there and I was frozen. And then he was like, yeah, my bad, I guess she hung up. And I was like, she never called. And then he proceeded to grab me, and I was forced onto the floor. My clothes was removed with force. I was 14, y'all. Like, I was 14. I was skinny. I held no weight compared to dude, like, but you still are trying to protect yourself. So I'm sitting here trying to pull my pants back up. And y'all, even with my clothing, like, I started wearing double layers of clothing because I got so uncomfortable. Like, I didn't want to have any loose baggy clothes on, that because he made me feel so uncomfortable. After he said that he had a dream about us, he made me feel so uncomfortable, to the point where I was like, I was wearing big shirts and big yeah, my mom's shirts, or big long sleeve shirts. Like, I was wearing 2 of those, and I was wearing I had on leggings but pants on top of it. Like, I didn't want easy access at all. So he had my, I'm sorry, he had my pants down, and I was holding on to my tights, because after my tights get down, like, that's my underwear, and then it's gonna happen. Like, I was thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way this is about to happen, because I've seen the movies, like, I've seen the Fantasia Barrino story and all of that, but I still believe, like, that would never happen to me, but it did. So I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, there's just no way this is about to happen. And I was like, I had a death grip on those tights, y'all, but he ended up pulling them and they ripped. And next was my underwear, and those was forced down. And I just remember feeling so helpless, and I just gave up, y'all. Because at that point, I remember thinking, bro, just do it. Like, if you're gonna just, I'm sorry, if you're like, I was just, because at that point, like, I hold no weight to you. Like, I have no, my strength is gone. I was weak. I wanted it to be over. So, I was just like, I remember just like, because we was on the floor, so he was like on his knees, like overpowering me, and I was sitting up, like trying my hardest to use all my weight to pull my stuff back up. And so it wasn't a success, and I just remember just laying back, and I was just covering my eyes. I didn't want to see anything because what I was feeling was horrible. Like, it wasn't he it wasn't I'm sorry, it wasn't easy. Like, it wasn't soft, it wasn't gentle, it was so rough. It felt like someone was stabbing me. Like, it felt like someone was stabbing me down there, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish that on any female. I wouldn't want any female to experience what I experienced and feel what I felt. And I just remember covering my eyes. I didn't want to see it. And I remember me asking him, why are you doing this? Like, please stop. But it's like, the louder I got, the harder. It's like, it was, I'm sorry, I've never really sat and thought about it like this. Like, it's like, the louder I was like, please stop. Like, we was the only ones in the house. No one could hear us. Everybody was at work. My brother was outside still playing. I was like, please stop. Like, please, it hurts. It hurts. And he was like, I was like, please, like, stop making it hurt. Because I was intimate with my boyfriend who I was with at the time. But with him, it was gentle, and I wasn't supposed to be intimate, but I'm human, it happens. But it never hurted with him. So I was thinking, like, this hurts, bro. It hurts really bad. And he wouldn't stop. And it's like he was groaning and moaning. Like, I remember him saying, oh yeah, dear, this S is wet, and this S is so tight, I can't even really get it. Like, what I was saying was turning him on more. I just don't understand how you can be turned on by a 14-year-old. It blows my mind. But yeah, so all of this was happening, and I'm still saying, please stop, please, it hurts, please, it hurts. But he wouldn't stop, you guys. He wouldn't stop. And so yeah, I guess finally he got his, what would I say, he finished. And I felt it. Like, I didn't know anything about getting pregnant or anything, so I felt it go in me. But then he also poured out, and he emptied it on my stomach. Like, I felt like the worst thing ever. I felt like trash. I felt like it's not the word. I felt used. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel worthy of anything. Like, honestly, being molested makes you feel horrible. It makes you feel empty. It makes you feel like nothing. Like, And when he finished emptying on my stomach, I remember I asked him, why did you do that? It's like, why did you do that? I was crying. I looked at him as a brother. Even though he was making me uncomfortable, you know, I still looked at him as a brother. And I was just like, why? Like, what? I was thinking in my head, why? Why is this happening to me? He has a wife. Like, he has a daughter. Like, he's been blessed. Why is this happening to me? So he didn't say anything, but he was just looking at me, and the look on his face was horrible. Like, he was satisfied, like he got what he wanted. Sweat dripping down his face because it was forced. So I was really putting up a fight until I gave up. Sweat dripping. And he just stopped looking at me, and he ended up walking out. And I'm sitting here. It's like that movie Black Butterfly, when the officer molested her in her own house. I'm sitting here just crying, like, I heard just screaming, crying, and I heard him leave out the house, get in his car and go, because his window is close to the driveway, so you can hear when someone leaves. And I'm just crying, and I'm just like, why, God? Like, why did that just happen to me? Why did it have to be me? Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, what? And I remember saying, I hate you. Like, I was saying, I hate you to God. I just, like, because I trusted him, and I was just like, you let this happen. Like, I was really screaming because I just needed it out of me. And I was throbbing down there. It was hurting so bad, you guys. It was hurting so bad. Like, I didn't even look down there. I did not want to look. I still had his fluids on my stomach. I was still laying back just thinking, like, what the heck just happened? And so finally I wanted to get up and take a shower. So I looked down, and it was so much blood, but it's like it didn't get on his carpet. It got on my big shirt that I was wearing. It was black. It was so much. I was just like bleeding, and I went, like, I was limping. I was hurting. I was limping down the steps, and I went. My brother was still outside playing, and so I went downstairs, and I went to the room that me and my mom share. And I just remember stripping out of everything so fast. Like, all I had on was a shirt, a big shirt. I just took it off, and I got in the shower. And I remember falling because I couldn't even stand up. It was hurting so bad. And yeah, so I was in the shower, and I took the shower head and was like, tried to put it down there, but it hurt so bad. So I literally had a rag in my mouth and was screaming because it hurt, and I was just trying to clean it up, but the blood just kept coming out. So I remember my mom thought that I had my cycle, and still to this day she thinks that my son is the dude who I was with, child. My mom thought I had my cycle because I looked it up. In some cases, the women end up bleeding for days after, or it stops. And me, I was bleeding for a whole week straight. It was not my cycle. It was nowhere near time for my cycle. So I just know I got out the shower, and I was just so lost. I felt useless. Like, I will never forget how I felt in that moment. I felt useless. I felt so used and abused. Like, and I remember just laying down, like I put on, like, I was already dressing heavy, but I put on these heavy pants and I put on my mom's shirt that went all the way down because I just wanted to be covered. Like, even when I wasn't covered, even when I was covered, I wasn't covered enough because it happened. Like, when someone molests you, to me, they enter into your privacy without your consent. So I just wanted to be covered so that would never happen to me again. And so yeah, I ended up just going to sleep. I cried myself to sleep. I cried myself to sleep. I cried myself to sleep. And when my mom got home, I remember I was mad at her because, like, no one was there. No one was there. And usually people come home and they get food and stuff, but no one came home that day. And it was just me and him in the house. And my mom was like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Yeah." Guys, how the woman who played in the movie Black Butterfly is literally called Black Butterfly. Go watch it. How she reacted, how she changed up her whole attitude, her whole aura, her whole wardrobe is literally how I was acting. Like, I was mad at everybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I cut off my boyfriend at the time. I wasn't talking to him. And he was like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Like, you're acting weird," because I was such a fun and loving person. And then I just turned cold. Like, I turned my emotions off and everything. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to be bothered by anybody. So yeah, I was just being mean and I was just mad at the world. Basically, I was mad at the world. But yeah, so after that, I wasn't talking to anybody in the house. I wasn't talking to anybody in the house. They would ask me questions and I wasn't answering whenever he came around. Like, I didn't want anybody to know because still I just got molested, but I'm thinking about other people. Like, I didn't tell my mom because I didn't want to get put out. We didn't have anywhere to go. Like, my mom just got her job. She didn't get paid yet. We didn't have anywhere to go. So I was dealing with it internally and it was eating me up. I was so depressed. Honestly, I remember contemplating suicide because I did not want to live with it anymore. And then being in the same house with your molester, I did not want to be there anymore. But I don't know, it's like I guess it was me, the woman I am today, was talking to that little girl, just saying it's okay, don't do it, there's so much more in store for you. Like, that's literally what I kept hearing every time I thought about it. So I didn't do it because I'm here talking to y'all. But I was never the same after that. I'm still not the same. I just, like, I'm jumpy. I was jumpy after that. Like, anytime someone made a noise, I would jump. But yeah, that is how my son was conceived, you guys. So, like I said, disclaimer, do not call a grown man your brother. I don't care how close you are. Ladies, respect yourself, cover yourself. I understand if you don't have a creepy relationship with, like, if your brothers don't make you feel uncomfortable like your blood brothers, it's okay to, like, how to dress around your brothers and stuff. But strangers, ladies, cover yourself. It's sad that we have to cover ourselves around creeps, but in some instances, like, family members will tell you, "Oh, you're gonna change your shirt?" Larry's coming over or whatever. No, Larry can't come over. This is my house. Like that's really how I'm gonna be with my daughter. Honestly, like if you're a grown man and my little girl is home and she's walking around comfortable and she's not showing too much, she's comfortable, and if she doesn't want to change her clothes, you can't come over. I'm sorry, because this is her peace. Her home is her peace, and I'm not gonna let her peace get disturbed because a man doesn't know how to keep his eyes to himself. A man doesn't know that she's a child. A man doesn't respect the fact that she's a child and that she shouldn't be looked at like that. Like, that's their problem. It's not gonna be my daughter's problem. It's not gonna be my problem. I'm sorry, they're not coming over to my house. Like, I'm sorry. My daughter is not changing her clothes. My daughter is not going in her room. If my daughter tells me I don't feel right around him, you can't come over anymore. Like, you can't, because that's how little girls end up running away and end up having issues because they didn't have peace in their home. Like, mom and dad, you are their protectors. Protect them. Don't let no one come in and tell your kids, oh, you have to change. No, they can't come over. They don't have to change their clothes. They can't come over. Don't let nobody do that. Don't, please don't. Your daughters need you. Same thing for boys, because boys can get molested also. Don't have no grown women coming to your house and telling your son you have to change and all of that. They can't come over because, first of all, if your kid has to change, if an adult come over, something wrong with that adult. If you're thinking, oh, such and such about to come over, I need to tell her to change. No, that should never cross your mind. No, such and such can't come over. No. So thank you so much for listening. I really pray that you take my situation in and evaluate it and think about it and really just apply it. Like, everything I told you, just apply it to your life, and so nothing, like, it won't happen to you, honestly. And older sisters, if you're watching, you have a younger sister, watch this with her. Trust me, watch it with her and she will definitely understand and it will get through to her. But you guys, that is all for today's story time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share. This word needs to get out, you guys. Just share, honestly. Remember to protect yourself, protect your health, and protect your wealth. Keep God first and keep faith. And I love you, and I will see you in the next video.